This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, Dunedin company Highland Helicopters has acquired a new bit of technology that's set to benefit the South. The Fleeces are set to fly at the Otago Shearing and Wool Handling Championships to be held at Balclutha this weekend. And workers at the Oamaru Blue Penguin Colony say it's important the public behave well around protected species. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. Dunedin company Highland Helicopters have acquired a new bit of technology that's set to benefit the South. They've just purchased a state-of-the-art multifunctional camera that's set to improve the company's abilities.
Highland Helicopters' new bit of high-tech kit. This camera fixed to the front of one of their choppers, a major investment in the company's future.
It's got 4 cameras in one, they're all stabilised with a laser rangefinder. And as part of the package is the camera. The rest of it is the brains behind it in the software and the mapping.
After originally looking for a drone, their research revealed the camera was the best bang for their buck. It can shoot still photos, HD video, corona and infrared.
We can lock on to a target, moving target with the laser rangefinder, and all cameras follow that target, or a stationary target or a scene.
And the husband and wife team behind Highland Helicopters say their new camera has many practical applications, including surveying and search and rescue.
Other applications are after a fire or during a fire, and looking at the hot spots, so where they need to focus the water, and after the fire's out but there's still warmth in the ground, telling them where they need to keep putting the water to cool it down so that the wind doesn't flare it up again. And
they've already had a glimpse of what the camera can do.
We've done some quite cool footage of coastal work with seals and surfers in the water.
They're now determined to get the most out of the new investment. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Dunedin police have slammed the actions of a group of patch gang members who rode their motorcycles the wrong way up a one-way street last night. Police say they received several reports about 15 Tribesmen Motorcycle Club gang members riding the wrong way on Cumberland Street near the mobile service station. They didn't stop for red lights and obstructed traffic. Police understand they travelled down from the North Island for the Burt Munro Challenge rally in Southland. The Fleeces will fly at the Otago Shearing and Wool Handling Championships, set to be held at Balclutha this weekend. Organised by the Otago Shearing and Wool Handling Committee, the 2 days of competitions began today at the Balclutha Town Hall.
Golden Shears and reigning New Zealand wool handling champion Joel Henare is set to take the stand at the Otago Shearing and Wool Handling Championships being held at Balclutha this weekend.
This has been my 14th time to Balclutha.
14th. And what's your success rate been?
I've won 9 of the Open titles here.
And you're currently world champion, eh?
Yeah.
The Balclutha Champs are the final of the South Island Wool Handling Circuit's annual competition and has the New Zealand Open Wool Handler of the Year title on offer as well. Organisers say wool handler Sherry Peterson is also one to look out for.
So the top competitors such as Joel Henare and Pagan Karodia, and the up-and-coming ones are Charles Sherry Peterson and Candy Hurry.
The event is part of an extensive calendar of shearing and wool handling competitions held throughout New Zealand. There's also some international competition, including a New Zealand versus Wales shearing test match. Wool handlers and shearers are vying for a chance to represent New Zealand at the World Shearing and Wool Handling Championships, set to be held in July in France. In Balclutha, the South Today.
Dunedin's busy state highway could be cut to a 2-way road running through the city as the new $1.4 billion hospital takes shape. Plans include a suggestion that Cumberland Street be turned into a public road with reduced traffic and Castle Street a 2-way state highway. The change is the preferred option in a report released today by the Ministry of Health. It's just one part of a wide-ranging report and could see a major reconfiguration of the city transport networks if it goes ahead. Workers at the Oamaru Blue Penguin colony say the public's behaviour around protected species is becoming increasingly important for the animal's survival. 2 Fiordland-crested penguins are now in care. One was found at Kakanui while the other was picked up by colony staff in front of a crowd of onlookers at Oamaru Harbour.
Having a well-earned drink before going into temporary care at the Oamaru Blue Penguin Colony Rehabilitation Centre. This Fiordland-crested penguin was spotted by members of the public in the Oamaru Harbour car park.
One of our staff members went over and had a look at it, and it was a Fiordland-crested penguin just about to start its, just having started its molt. Okay. So I couldn't go to sea, but it was heading down to the water, obviously quite hot and in need of a drink.
She says busy public areas and molting penguins don't mix well. While dogs are permitted in the harbour area during daylight, they must be kept on a lead. And Dr Agnew is disappointed not all dog owners are being responsible.
So there were a lot of people there and a couple of people with their dogs. One person had their dog on a lead, which is great, but the other person dog off the lead. Okay. So this penguin was clearly in a place that it wasn't going to be safe, needed to be rescued. So we picked it up and brought it back here to the colony.
She says mid to late summer is a time species like the Fiordland-crested penguins might be found along our beaches.
This time of year, between January and April, is when you might see other species of penguin that you don't normally come ashore to molt on our coast.
She says DOC are always keen to autopsy any dead yellow-eyed penguins found on beaches, as long as they're still fresh. But any penguins which seem distressed or in a vulnerable location should be left to the experts.
Members of the public shouldn't pick up a penguin if they think it's in distress. They should call the Department of Conservation. They have an 0800 number.
And while the little blue penguin isn't a species at high risk, DOC are always keen to hear of sightings of other penguins, such as the yellow-eye and the Fiordland-crested. In Oamaru, for the South Today.
Still to come on the South Today, a 63-year-old green-fingered thief arrested this week proves crime does not pay at any age. And we take a look at a day in the life of a volunteer driver for the elderly.
Step into Ross Cafe, located at Ross Home in North East Valley. We have a great range of hot and cold food, friendly service and a warm atmosphere that you are sure to enjoy. We look forward to serving you soon at Ross Cafe.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489-2274.
I just like it. It's something that you can see the fruits of your own labour. You put it right now, you don't have as much to do at Christmas. You come see me, Derek, in the garden department, and then we get it done right.
Need to rent an EFTPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
You're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer. You owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
At the Hard to Find Bookshop, we sell quality books on all subjects from the rare to the recent, and where viable, we will come to you. We have a great reputation for integrity and honesty, so if you're downsizing or sorting an estate and have books to sell, contact us.
Welcome back. A man has been arrested after an elderly Dunedin woman reported several thefts of plants and garden ornaments last month. Police say the alleged green-fingered thief is a 63-year-old man. He's set to appear in the Dunedin District Court on burglary charges in relation to 3 incidents in St Kilda. The 87-year-old woman was upset by the loss of her items from her garden. Police are very pleased that persistent police work has benefited the community. One of Christchurch's volunteer drivers for the elderly says his greatest satisfaction is making people happy. A team from CTV followed Paul Jamieson for a couple of days, taking groups of senior citizens on outings around the city.
Hi, I'm Paul from Age Concern. I'm a volunteer driver. I've been doing it for 2 years and I'm just off to pick up a group now. I've always wanted to do something as a volunteer. A couple of years ago I looked under the volunteer website and this was one of them. The other one I was looking at was also maybe to do something like Red Cross or the community policing. But at the end of the day I settled on this and it's really cool. It really is cool. I like driving as well. Some of us do it once a week, some of us maybe once a fortnight, maybe 40 drivers I've got. We're just going to pick up a group of people from their homes and take them to a cafe visit. Over the last 12 months, the Age Concern have now put an off-sider with us now, so a helper. Mary, she's an ex-school teacher and she's a very bubbly person. Well, I think we're all pretty bubbly.
Oh, it's lovely out here, isn't it?
It is beautiful. Having a helper on the group makes our job, the driver, a lot easier because you're not only trying to find your way around to people's houses but also, getting around to talk to everybody, especially when you go to the cafe. Some people don't open up as much as others do, so it's quite good to sit down with those people and have a good old natter. It's some of the only communication they have. Some of them have got perhaps no family. They just like to get out, and sometimes if we get a bit of time, spare time, we'll take them for a trip maybe to Sumner or New Brighton or Littleton. Yesterday I took a group out to the Raspberry Cafe at Taitap, which was really appreciated, and on the way back through we came back through the centre of the city, and a lot of them don't get to go in there. Some of them have never seen things like the bus station and the big cinema complex and all those sorts of amazing places that the city's now got with its lanes. Last year I think the drivers took out over 85,000 people for either home visits, and they put on a morning or afternoon tea for them, and then the cafe visits generally start maybe 9 o'clock in the morning, picking the people up from their homes. We all tend to have our own set groups, which is generally once a fortnight, and you pick up anywhere up to 9 people. And one of the guys, he's not on one of my permanent trips, but a guy named Ron, I think he's 92, and he used to be a volunteer driver for Age Concern, and he did it for about 20 years. He still holds every driver's licence in New Zealand that you could possibly have, and he's just so interesting to have, and he's a good character as well. Doesn't drive for Age Concern anymore. He just sits in the back and enjoys the scenery.
Well, we go past the lolly shop again.
Yes. Got to go past the lolly shop. You're serious? You want to go to the lolly shop? I just feel as though that it's really good to put something back into the community. I did 10 years as a volunteer in the fire service down in Sumner, and I've done other bits and pieces with Nurse Maud when there was a couple of times when there's been a big snowstorm. I've offered my services to get their nurses around to their patients. Volunteering like this is just amazing. I get a real buzz out of it when I finish dropping them off, the last one off. I've feel quite a glow that I've done something that's made other people feel pretty happy. Just the satisfaction of, you know, putting a smile on somebody's face at the end of the day. That's the cool part.
After the break on The South today, we take a look at demands on aged care services as the nation's baby boomers age. And will you need swimsuits or umbrellas as we check out what's in store for the weekend's weather? So stay with us.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren. His Garador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
At Green Island Medical Centre, we are committed in caring for our future and present generations. We know as a young person, coming to the doctors can be quite daunting. Our highly skilled doctors and nurses will make your experience one where you will leave with a smile. Your health is very important to us.
Most of us have spots on our skin. That's quite normal. Finding skin cancer as early as possible is key to successful treatment. Book in for a free check of 1 to 2 moles or a comprehensive full body check with the Mole Doctor in Waverley.
Step into Shop on Carrot and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
It's always really satisfying when a customer comes back after doing a purchase of outdoor furniture and knowing that we've got it done right.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Oh, help! Don't suffer in silence. Call Sunny Chin, Chi Master Body Technician for structural, muscular, emotional bodywork. Phone 03 4250 606 for all your pain relief.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Need to rent an FPOS? Whether it's just a week or the whole season, maybe a pop-up store, a concert or event, Anything's POS have equipment available to suit your needs for retail and hospitality with local support. To rent, lease or buy, contact Anything's POS.
Thanks for staying with us. As the nation's baby boomers age, demands on aged care services are increasing. And with some people choosing to live at home longer before going into rest home care, there's now a much larger need for in-home care.
Loneliness is an everyday part of life for a lot of our clients, and with the likes of Danella that we went to, she just loves having somebody come in. There was another client, it's a security blanket from knowing that somebody will be in every day because he doesn't always get to see the family. Yeah, loneliness is huge, and there is a model of healthcare, Te Whare Tapawhā. Yeah, that's the spiritual dimension, so yeah, I think it's it all connects with everything else, their physical well-being as well as their emotional. It all ties in. We do have policies where we're not to give out phone numbers, and because in the past it has happened with some way back in the past, and the clients end up getting quite reliant on that support worker, and support workers do get attached and don't want to say no. So yeah, that is the hard part of doing this kind of work, because you do want to carry on a relationship outside of professional boundaries. So personal care is medication oversight, then we have showering, assistance with dressing, drying. We may have to make sure that they're completely dry. Personal cares can be getting their breakfast organised for them. Sometimes you make the bed in the mornings for them when you're there for personal cares. You've seen what I did with Brian, with his legs, making sure compression stockings are on for other clients. And the home help is just general home help duties. You know, a lot of the older clients find they can get down to do the cleaning, but they can't get back up again. So there's cleaning the bath and the toilet and doing the luxing and changing the linen on their bed, and also meal prep falls under home help as well. So we have clients that aren't able to fix themselves a meal, so we go in there and do that as well. After working on residential care at the hospital level, without wanting to sound really full on, I knew what I was doing and I know what I'm doing.
And check out tomorrow's Otago Daily Times for a comprehensive report plus a longer video on Dunedin's aged care sector by health reporter Mike Houlihan. And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South today. Dunedin company Highland Helicopters has acquired a new bit of technology that's set to benefit the South as they've added a clever new camera to their toolkit. The Fleeces are set to fly at the Otago Shearing and Wool Handling Championships to be held at Balclutha this weekend when the reigning champ takes the stand. And workers at Oamaru's Blue Penguin Colony say it's important the public behaves well around protected species, following a spate of injured penguins being rescued. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome Craig Page. What have you got for us in tomorrow's paper?
Good evening, Mel. You're plenty in Saturday's paper, bumper edition. We're leading off with a story about a report into the preliminary traffic plans at the new Dunedin Hospital site, which were released today. I guess one of the big concerns about the hospital is it's surrounded by state highway on both sides. The report's focusing on maybe taking Cumberland Street out of the state highway equation and putting all of the state highway out the back on Castle Street. They're turning it into a two-way highway. That'll free up Cumberland Street to Main, return as a two-way road as well, but obviously not with the same density of traffic. The whole focus is trying to make the hospital a bit more pedestrian friendly, enabling people to come, wander up. NZTA is not totally convinced about the proposal. They're saying that no decision has been made and more detailed planning needs to be done before anything step ahead. We're talking about 10 years of building there, and there's going to be a lot going on, so traffic will become a huge issue. And also, given the money that's been spent on cycleways and traffic changes around the city as well, to rip those all up and start again won't please everyone, I wouldn't think. So
no,
a lot of discussion to be had.
Yeah, definitely, and traffic's pretty slow at the moment even.
Hard to get around the city, isn't it, at the moment?
It's almost impossible. I'm thinking about taking up those long scooters.
Yeah. But having said that, if you lived in Auckland or Wellington, it's a lot worse, I guess. So.
Yeah.
We're big sports coverage as well. We'll have coverage of tonight's Highlanders Crusaders match, final in the pre-season before Super Rugby starting next week. Seems hard to believe, really, in the middle of summer. And we've also got a wrap of the two big 2020 clashes between New Zealand and India being played in Auckland tonight. That's the men and women. So packed out crowd at Eden Park. So that'll be a great evening as well.
So it's a big weekend for sport.
It is. And just finally in the weekend mix, we're having a look at family estates and the disputes that arise among families as inheritances are divvied up. So a lot of people have been in that situation, so that's well worth a read.
I'm sure it is. So there's something for everyone in tomorrow's ODT, and you can catch that tomorrow. And now it's time for a look at tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by Mole Map.
Beginning with the southern view taken of a Dunedin flag flying over a typically blue southern sky. Looking at the situation, a warm northwesterly airflow will bring rain to western areas this weekend, but mostly fine in the east with mild temperatures and high cloud. Starting off with the southern towns, expect fresh northwesterlies and increasing cloud. The Catlins should be the warmest place of these areas with a high of 23 degrees, while Balclutha, Lumsden and Gore are aiming for a high of 22. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes. It's a warm day with moderate northwesterlies and some cloud. Alexandra is aiming for the top temperature in the Central with a target of 28. Wanaka is heading for 26, Queenstown 25, while Te Anau has fresh northwesterlies, rain and a high of 19 degrees. To the northern towns, it's looking like moderate northeasterlies for coasters with Timaru aiming for 28 degrees and Oamaru 26. Heading inland, Marama and Twizel should have moderate northwesterlies, some cloud and 25-degree highs. In Dunedin, fine tonight with light northerly winds and an overnight low of 15. Warm tomorrow and Sunday with sunny periods and some cloud and moderate northerly winds, a high of 25 and an overnight low of 16. Sunday in Dunedin should have a high of 24 and a low of 16. It's a great weekend to mow your lawns. In Invercargill, fine tonight with an overnight low of 13. Cloud lowering tomorrow with some scattered rain later in the day. Fresh gusty northwesterlies follow, aiming for a high of 19 and a low of 13. And it's fine at first on Sunday with sunny periods but cloud increasing and some rain developing during the evening, followed by freshening northwesterlies, looking at a high of 19 degrees and a low of 14. And that wraps up our news for Friday on the South Today. For the latest news from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz, channel39.co.nz, or follow us on Facebook and YouTube. Enjoying the fine weather in store for the weekend. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.